Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Inspired Podcast, Monday Morning Moments with John O'Leary. I record these so that you and I can begin these days on fire with a burst of inspiration. I'm going to begin this episode with a quote from a friend of mine. And if you listen to the most recent Live Inspired podcast, I hope a friend of yours, his name is Orvin Kimbrough. Orv says this: "We are not victims. Adopting a victim identity means surrendering your power." That's powerful, in particular if you know his story. So let's begin this episode with a question. Why me? Why me? This was the question I wrestled with frequently after getting burned. When I was finally able to communicate with my parents after more than a month, the first question that I asked them was not, "When will I get out of here?" Or, "What's next?" Or, "Who's watching my siblings while you are at my bedside around the clock?" No, the question I asked them was simply, why me? 5 months of hospitalization, dozens of surgeries, rounds of amputations, and incessant pain did not alleviate my desire to better understand why I was enduring all this. Neither did being released from the hospital, returning to a rebuilt house, finding myself surrounded by the love of a family, or being lifted up by the support of a community. As I slowly learned to walk again, gradually learned to ride again, and haltingly returned to school again, each time I felt the pang of physical agony or caught a glimpse of my new reflection in the mirror, I wondered, why me? One night, as my dad was helping me get dressed for bed, I asked him that question again. It was one he had tried to answer numerous times previously with responses like, "Well, John, bad things happen to good people." Or he'd say sometimes, "God works through all things, John." Or other times he might add, "Keep the faith that something good will come out of all this." And sometimes even, more simply, more honestly, "John, I don't know. I don't know." But on this night, Dad took a different approach. He finished getting the t-shirt over my head. He stood up. He walked away from my wheelchair. He approached the bedroom door and he shut it. Dad then walked back over to me. He knelt down. He looked sternly up at me and he spoke words that changed my night and changed my life. Here they are. "John, darn it. Why not you? This terrible thing has happened to you, and if you want to spend the rest of your life as a victim to it, have at it. No one will blame you. You have been through the worst, and you have every right to feel like a victim." He paused for a moment, and then he continued, Or you can simply accept that this thing has happened to you and choose to act like a victor. In doing so, every room I roll you into or one day you walk into, people will look up to you with respect, not just at what you overcame, but at how you live your life. Dad then paused. He looked up at me in the eyes and said, "John, victim or victor, it's your choice. It's not mine." He leaned forward, kissed my forehead, stood up, opened the door, walked out of that room, left me by myself to reflect on the conversation. And my friends, family, leaders, servants, my dad who listens to these podcasts still, it was a conversation that changed my entire perspective, as I said earlier, not just on the night, but on life. Victim or victor, your choice, not mine. Now, my friends, if I'm honest with you, and why not be, I still have bad days. I still deal with challenges physically, difficulties professionally, and disappointments relationally. I occasionally still have pain, still need help, still struggle. I am, however, no longer a victim to my past. Dad helped me choose a different path decades ago. In a society that sometimes promotes and empowers victimhood, be reminded, my friends, of your power and potentially the power within each day to choose to be a victor. No, it will not change what you have been through. What will? It will not alleviate what you still might face. What would? It will, however, reinforce that you have agency. Your life is a gift. Your past does not define who you are, and your best is yet to come. This is the good news. My dad taught a 10-year-old boy 37 years ago, and it's advice and encouragement that I give to you today. I want to thank you for being part of my family. I want to thank you for being part of our world over here at the Live Inspired podcast. And I want to remind you, in spite of what you've been through, what you face, what you're reading today in the headlines, that the foundation is firm, that God is still God, that your life matters, and that the best is yet to come. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary, and today is your day. What a gift. Live inspired.